competing in the Bundesliga. But after this, it's separated. And now we have two different populations. And what happened was that when Hermann Martin in the 70s spread out the shepherd all over the world to make it the shepherd club bigger, he sends the dogs there. German market product, like Daimler Chrysler, like Siemens, German shepherd dog. And everybody in the world wants this dog. And they try to get it with working dogs, the best one of the world. But if you send a dog there, you must tell the people what to do and how to gamble with this. And there are two options. One is you run in a circle, and the other is you train in the field. And this takes 3-4 years to compete to get these trophies. When you run in a circle, everybody can do this, and you reach the same aim. You reach the trophies. And so, in the first 10 years, the dogs were sent to Europe. And after 10 years, people invite people like me and tell me, I have a working dog. Tell me, how can I work with this dog? Then I came there, it was always the same story. Two different population. If you want to go for a Formula 1, you need a different car. Okay, after Europe was smart enough to understand that you have to decide what way you want to go, there was enough space in the world, like South America, like Australia, and nowadays it's just Russia and China, which are still crazy enough to pay lots of money for a working dog, which is a working dog. And so this was my problem when I came to Mexico. I know this place is also settled with a German message, the shepherd is a show dog. And I come here and tell and say, okay, you have this, and you invite me for dog sport, you need this. And there is no compromise. Either you want to work with a dog, or you want to put him in a home as a pet. And I want to point this out clearly. And now we come to the point, what you select, you get. And therefore it's important that we have the right values in the selection. And what are the right values? And the answers I gave you in the last 3 days. The first is, there must be drive in the dog. If it's a dog without drive, it's no working dog we can eat, we can use. Then you put technique on it, and when you do it, you cause problems. And these problems make the dog either blue or
gray.
Hectic, hyperactive, gray. So when you get the gray, you get the shit in the technique. When you get the blue, you get the shit in the drive. And if you are smart and do these exercises in a proper way, you get, hey, here comes the knife. you get the technique and the drive, and you can perform very good if there is good understanding and coordination. This is what we talked about in the last days. Now, the other side. What do we judge? Of course, I told you, world champions don't fall from heaven. So in the beginning, you should have a dog with good drive. Then you go and shape this drive into the behavior, into the technique. In this, the dog loses its drive. And at the end, if you're good, you have both. If you're not so good, either the drive or the technique is insufficient. When you know this about training, and I told you the trick, B upward, 96 point upward is the coordination. Then you know we have 3 pointer time. Wo muss ich drücken? sit down in R3 to decide and say, okay, we must have a clear criteria for judging. Nowadays, everybody, there is a score, there is a which is where it's written down on 110 pages what the dog has to do. Do you think you know when you read page 100 what there was on page 2? It's incredible. So in the end, everybody judges what he wants. And everybody thinks he's true. So it's impossible. Everybody has his own page to work with. And we say this is a responsibility of the class to organize this and to give the values, to put the breeding in the right direction. So we sit down and we constructed a page. And we said, okay, the main criteria of training is drive, and this is in this lane. Then there is a technique, and this is this lane. And then there is a coordination, this is this lane. And here we put the exercises in Schutzhund, searching, holding back, flight, attack, transport, re-attack, long attack, and again an attack. And here we put the points. And now, when you're a judge, you have to do. Say, what is the drive in this exercise? Is this V, is this SG, is this G, or is this B or M? And we have slang for this. If it's V, it's a you watch it, it's exciting. If it's SG, oh, there is something special. If it's a G, okay, he made it. If it's a B, in Germany it's hingewurschtelt. I don't know the English word. It's, in some way it's done with little trickies. And M, no job without bigger mistakes and bigger helps. And now you know what you have to put in here. And also the technique. You have this where you have to give your B or your B or whatever. And the same with the coordination. And now it becomes interesting. So, we say let's take the second exercise here. This one. Hold it back. The drive of the dog is V. But he bumps into the helper, and when he was called back, he didn't hear, he didn't come, and he has to do a double command, and he was sitting a little bit beside. So, we say, he made it. But the coordination was just close to insufficient. It was a B. Too much help. Let's make it easier. Let's make it easier in the beginning. It wasn't this way, okay? Now, what comes out? When you are in an odds group, the highest counts. You are in a V. Now, you are in a bigger trial. And you have this result. Then, it's an SG. So, you judge the same, but you get the difference between an odds group or a championship. Because champions don't fall from heaven. And you cannot frustrate the people when they just start. They are happy that they reach something, and you say, no, no, shit, ignore, nothing, negative, negative, negative. That's incredible. We know the dogs. Plan A, plan B, and then plan C. First, the positive reinforcement is important. And the same with the men. And this is one thing which is genius in this new system. And every judge has the same criteria. And the values and the validation, they are in these words. They are in these words. We made our mind, what is the driving Schutzhund? One is the gray, which is the dominance. One is the dynamic of the attack, which is mostly the green. So we have the dominance, we have the dynamic, we have the endurance in the barking, we have the way how the dog goes into the arm, we have the way how the dog effects with his grip. And in the technique part, we have criteria like, I'm not reading this here, I can't read it there. How does it heal? How is the distance to the transport? How is the drive change to the out? And all these technical parts. And in the coordination, we have criteria like are the helps, how does the dog answer on the signals, can be the acoustic signals or the body language. How does he work when in the searching the blinds, the handler calls him, does he come to the handler or does he ignore this? So what about the coordination? And this is our system we have now, and it works so nice because the judge cannot do what he wants. Everybody is the same, and we have the same values. And of course, sometimes it's a little different. I think it's still a G. The other one thinks, no, it's already a G. But this makes no difference at the end. And I think when we come up with this new method of judging, and people will understand, we will have big progress. The moment it's a problem that the old judges, they are settled with their knowledge. And everybody knows the truth. And everybody knows the single truth. But everybody has another truth. And this is a problem. So we have to work on it, to struggle with the judges and on a positive, constructive way, that we come to values which makes it right reading. Okay? So I just want to overcome the break until Ursula and Raphael are here, because this afternoon we decided we will introduce you to our Talentsichtung. The system is close to our judge system. We have a paper where you fill in the answers. And the validation of what you test are always in these words. So, no chance for you to have your own validation. You have to answer these questions. And by this method, you obey test criteria. You see, when I was Breedborn 2004, there was one thing, we need to have a better Körung, or don't we have to a better Körung, and all these discussions. I said, okay. The answer was always, well, the book where it's written down, it's good enough, but people were so insufficient. And then I said, now, after Reiser is Bundeszuchtwart and Reiser says, this system we tried for 40 years. And now I decide it doesn't work because the human is so insufficient. Now we need a system where the human insufficiency is not so important. And this creates a system, and this is better for the test criteria as they are. Validation, reproducible, objective. And these three test criteria the test has to obey. If not, the test is not good. And with this system, we come in the judging trial to a better result and also in the anatomy. So, I want to introduce you to our matrix for Talentsichtung.
Ich habe eine ganz kurze Präsentation gemacht und die Matrix aus dem Internet geholt, die wenigstens 90% des Anschlusses ist.
Kannst du das jetzt machen?
Du musst nur gerne, du machst das, aber ich...
Nö, ich mach's gleich.
Okay.
Ursel was busy. She worked in the night and... Or
I slept at night.
She slept at night, okay. And we prepared a presentation for you for our matrix. And then I think we should go out,
Yes.
take the dog from Belga, makes a mental part of the matrix, and then we go in with this dog here, and I will show you how you can prove the validation of the anatomy without taste, without stomach, just with eyes and brain. And this makes it equal so that it's valid, reproducible, and objective. Okay, Osman, come, you get the microphone.